Norway quietly owns about 1.5% of every company on Earth. A single country of 5 million people is a part owner of the entire global stock market. And here's the strangest part: by law, they're barely allowed to spend it. By the end of this, you'll know how a cold country with cod and fjords became one of the richest places on the planet. And stay to the end, because the secret isn't the oil. Lots of countries had oil and ended up broke. It's what Norway did that nobody else had the discipline to do. The easy answer is oil. In the 1960s, Norway struck huge reserves under the North Sea. Money poured in. Case closed, rich country, lucky geology. Except that's exactly what so many countries got. Oil, gas, gold, diamonds, sudden windfalls, and most of them squandered it. Spent it, stole it, or wrecked their own economies with it. Oil alone makes countries poor as often as rich. So the real question isn't why Norway had oil. It's what Norway did with the money that everyone else got wrong. Here's the move. Instead of spending the oil money, Norway put almost all of it into a giant national savings account, a sovereign wealth fund, set up in 1990. And crucially, it invested that money everywhere but Norway. Why abroad? Because pumping all that cash into a small economy would have caused chaos, soaring prices, a ruined currency, the classic curse that kills oil states. So Norway used its oil to quietly buy pieces of the rest of the world instead. And it just kept buying. Today, that fund is worth over $2 trillion, around $390,000 for every single Norwegian. And it owns about 1.5% of all the stocks on Earth. But even that isn't the genius part. The genius is a rule Norway wrote to protect itself from itself. By law, the government is only allowed to spend about 3% of the fund each year, roughly what the fund earns in returns. Think about what that means. They never touch the actual pile. They live off the interest, and the principal stays locked away, growing forever. It's designed so the oil money isn't a windfall for one lucky generation. It's an inheritance for every Norwegian who will ever be born. A politician can't just raid it to win an election. The temptation that destroyed every other oil state was written out of the rules on purpose. So here's the truth about why Norway is rich. It is not because they found oil. It's because, unlike almost everyone else, they refused to spend it. The oil was the easy part. The hard part, the rare part, was the discipline to lock it away. This flips the whole idea of luck. Most people think wealth is about what you earn. Norway proves it's about what you don't spend. They turned a one-time, disappearing resource, oil that will eventually run out, into a permanent, growing one. A slice of the entire world economy that keeps paying out long after the last barrel is pumped. They converted oil into time. So the fjords and the oil are the postcard. The real reason Norway is rich is a boring law and a nation that agreed not to touch its own money. The most valuable thing they drilled out of the North Sea wasn't oil. It was patience. Now, to be fair, it wasn't pure virtue, and you can't just copy it. Norway started with enormous advantages. A tiny population of 5 million sitting on a giant oil field, and crucially, strong, clean, trusted institutions that already existed before the oil showed up. That's exactly what most resource-cursed countries don't have. It's a lot easier to save a windfall when your government isn't corrupt, and there aren't 100 million people demanding it be spent today. And the model has real risks. The fund can be hammered by a global market crash, and there's constant pressure to raise that 3%. The honest lesson isn't just save your oil money. It's that a windfall rewards the institutions you already had when it arrived. So, Norway is rich because it did the one thing almost no other oil country managed. It saved the money instead of spending it, invested it in the whole world, and passed a law so no generation could blow it. The oil made them lucky. The discipline made them rich. The next time someone says they just got lucky with oil, you'll know the real answer. Luck found the oil. Restraint kept it. Send this to whoever thinks oil equals rich. And subscribe, because next, how a plain metal box, the shipping container, quietly built the entire modern world and made everything you own cheaper.